All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over, man. This title, boy, to each their own. To each their own. This title here says, BBLs are leaving their natural habitat and something's off. Now look, here's my thing. I feel like a lot of people don't realize putting a lot of hard work into the gym can make a difference in your body. You may not reach a goal or something that you are seeing, but that all falls into just being yourself. You know, a lot of people see these bodies online, and it goes into all the other things too, the plastic surgery and all that stuff, whether it's getting things done to your face. And we're talking about male and females here, all right? I know this video probably going to be about females, but there's a lot of males out there doing things too. But like I said, you can achieve a lot of things with a really good diet and working out. But, you know, back in the day, it just seemed more like the people who were getting BBLs were, you know, if they were working in a strip club or doing some type of something that fell into those lines. But I mean, now you just see them everywhere. And I think the whole thing with BBLs is that it's almost like it's not supposed to look like you got one, right? But some people, like the butt don't match the legs. And then when you see them out and about, and of course, they may be wearing something where it's really showing. And some people just don't care. They don't give a damn. They like, I got it, so what? The world about to see it, whatever. That's why I say to each their own, man. But the original video will be in the description for you guys to check out more and even subscribe. I know this video is probably going to ruffle some feathers. Shout out to Janae Danielle for it. Hey, I don't know if a guy could make something like this with that title. Let's jump right into it.
I didn't know how to describe it, but now I do. BBLs look like club outfits that you can't take off.
Why do you have a BBL and you work at T-Mobile?
I just feel like a BBL at 8 a.m., that's just too early.
BBLs don't really look good in a natural setting. Like, they don't really match the energy of the world.
It's such a life.
For this intro. Yeah, it's funny because it's making me think of like the damn Medea or what was that called? The Nutty Professor, or like the way they talking as if like these people can just take it off. Like, oh, gotta go to work, can't wear it here. No, these things for the most part are permanent, you know? But I just think there's a lot of people who are getting botched surgery, you know? You say, why you got a BBL, you work at T-Mobile? Like they could just change that. It's too late.
Altering experience when you see a BBL casually in like Target. Like, oh, mamas, what are you doing here?
There's a growing conversation online about something people are starting to notice in the light of day.
Seeing a BBL in public feel like seeing a Cybertruck on the road. Cause like, that ain't normal to see. Especially during the day. Like, it should be like a nighttime thing only, right?
And we've discussed time and place multiple times, time and place for specific outfits, time and place for certain behaviors. But I never thought we'd come to a day where time and place would apply to a body.
BBL should never see broad daylight. I just couldn't have a BBL because what do you mean? I could no longer be a teacher. I can't work at a grocery store. They said that got BBLs, they can't live in Colorado because what the is a BBL doing in Colorado?
And this is very new to me because the human body has never...
I do notice a lot of people that are talking seem fairly young, you know. Now, I will say, this has to suck for the women who bodies are just, I'll just say who are just naturally gifted, you know, who have those types of shapes that most people, and it makes me think of people like Serena Williams, right? It seemed like everybody wanted Serena's body, but Serena had like the thighs. You know, she had the thighs to go along with it. And I think that's what a lot of people don't have. You know, that's why I say you got to hit that gym.
Really been something that needed a proper setting, but now it seems that expectation is standard.
Why do y'all get a BBL to live in Nashville? You don't need it here.
Today, spotting a BBL in person is like seeing a shooting star. You know it exists, but when it actually shows up, it still kind of throws you off.
I just saw a BBL for the first time, like in person, and wow, I'm shocked. Like in a good way.
Seeing BBLs in real life will always be so fascinating to me. Oh my gosh, that's a BBL. Like, oh my gosh, that person, that's a BBL. That is a real life BBL. Wow.
And BBLs aren't a brand new invention that just dropped last week, but the way people react when they spot.
That's a BBL.
Wait, let me see this before and after.
That is a real life BBL. Wow.
And BBLs aren't a brand.
So, dang, it went so fast. I'm looking at the girl here on the right. Because it says after. Hold on.
Real life will always be so fascinating to me. Oh my gosh, that's a BBL. Like, oh my gosh, that person, that's a
Sorry.
BBL. That is a real life BBL. Wow.
Okay. So this is BBL before to the right in the pink.
BBLs aren't a brand new invention that just dropped last week.
And this is after. So like it's not that much of a difference from like other ones that I have seen. But what I'm saying is like I feel like some squats and hip thrusts and all that stuff that people be doing, man, will work out for you, you know? Because I mean, me personally, I'd just be scared of the side effects.
But the way people react when they spot one outside of its natural habitat is very telling. Because what does that mean? Who decided that? And why does it feel so easy for people to agree on it without even thinking twice?
Seeing a BBL not in its ordinary habitat, like standing in a wild, is truly different.
In the wild.
Within all the talk, the naturally built, no appointment needed bodies are starting to feel that heat too.
I wish I could take my butt off and go to work. You know what I mean? Because like, this is just too much. I don't know. Like, it just don't feel right. That's why I always got this cardigan. I got so many cardigans. I'll be respectful.
But what if I told you this conversation really isn't about the body? First, we need to tap into what this type of body has been presented to represent, because once you see it, you'll get a better understanding on why the reactions are so strong. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now, I'm not saying you have to subscribe. You're classy. I know you don't just give those away for free, but hopefully at the end of this video, we become besties enough for you to take that next step. For years, the female body has been picked apart into pieces. And I don't mean that to sound morbid. It's really just to expose how certain features are isolated, emphasized, and made the main attraction, especially for financial gain.
What happens is the woman's body becomes hacked apart, dismembered in ads. So in ad after ad for all kinds of products, just one part of the body is focused upon. And this is, of course, the most dehumanizing thing you can do to somebody. Not only is she a thing, but just one part of that body is focused.
I always like to ask this question because you may have people who are against it, and then you have people who are for it. Because I'm like, what if women said, what if they were like, you know what? I don't want to model. I don't want to be in this bikini for this photo ad. You know, I don't like, what if they just said no, that they didn't want to do it? and you didn't actually have any models to do it, you know? Well, now you got AI. I'm just talking about back then. So there's a lot of people who are posing for these photos, you know? I'm saying, who's forcing them to do this? You know what I mean? Like, what if they said no? Like when I talk about Hollywood and people acting and trying to get famous and all that, what if you weren't? Just wondering.
Upon.
Now, there was one space where women could be ogled at, and it really just came with the territory, and that was the era where being eye candy was everything.
Throughout the music video era, we saw several transitions. We were growing as a culture.
In 2000, it became about the vixen.
Yep.
We were the aesthetic. We were part of the fabric.
She had the curves, but she had the face. She had the attitude.
Women were getting paid like rappers.
I do want to note that at the height of the video girl era, the body was definitely a plus, but it wasn't everything, okay? In the most respectful way. These women were really just expected to be human wallpapers. From all genres of music, women were expected to stand there, look pretty, and occasionally do a little shimmying to make the music video more attractive.
19 years old, you're being thrown a check and say, stand next to Lil Wayne. I dare you to say no.
We made the video hot. We held them.
See? You see what I mean? She said, I dare you to say no. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people said yes. And they're still saying yes.
Sell records.
And you always want to see a pretty chick. You know, that feels like success. You know, that feels like money.
It was almost like a written rule that these women weren't there to take it all the way. Just be pretty, make the artist look like everything revolved around him.
The image of scantily clad women is supposed to affirm some image of masculinity, the man as the Mac, as this, you know, sexually powerful, virile example of manhood. And the idea is this man is so important and so powerful, and these women, conversely, are so dime a dozen that they don't matter. They're just eye candy. They're worthless.
But then eventually, everything started to revolve around that ad. Well, those curves.
They've gotten to a point where it's just basically just ass and titties on the camera. I don't think I've seen a video in a long time where women aren't shaking their butts. You know, it's like, it's a must.
And instead of just keeping it at those curves, I should probably say that crack, because Nelly, in his prime, set a scene that made it obvious, making it very clear what you were supposed to be looking at and what that look meant.
A controversy surrounding rap artist Nelly led to an emotional meeting at Spelman College tonight. The discussion focused on hip-hop videos and how they portray women.
In the video, Nelly is seen swiping his credit card down a woman's backside.
I was very, very bothered, to say the least, about the video.
With lyrics that read, "It must be your act, 'cause it ain't your face," he completely shifted the narrative that video girls...
Again, man, that era, the 2000 era with the video girls, like, if you know, you know. And sometimes you would see the same girls. Everybody wanted to know, like, what was her name? Melissa Ford, who was in here when they called her Supergirl. Everybody had to have her in the video because of her body and her face. And look, man, all of this stuff has been happening for years. And all I know is, like, the way AI is going, I know a lot of these chicks are probably going to be losing jobs because, you know, you're going to have a dude rapping with a green screen behind him, and then they're just going to throw all these AI girls up in there. It's wild. It really is. But as I said before, these girls could easily, they don't have to go to these auditions. They don't. And if you've seen videos before, you already know how you're going to be portrayed in these videos. So
were just supposed to be a pretty face. And eventually, the expectation didn't even need to be said.
When Buffy the Body came out, it started this whole thing with you had to have a big butt. You cannot come after Buffy the Body and not have a butt her size or bigger.
We didn't just see these figures in the music videos. It seemed like right as the sun went down, beautiful, bootylicious women spawned. They were at the nightclubs, the strip clubs, they were bottle girls, they were arm candy, they were on the corner. Let's be honest. There was a specific build that came with being one of these women.
All the dances are about ass. Too much.
Even though there's no studies to show that the fatter the ass, the more money the guy has. Nonetheless, it doesn't stop them from trying.
I seen girls with perfect bodies, in my opinion, they were like, no. I need to get more ass. I need to pump it up. And I'd be like, oh my God.
And without realizing it, that started to form a mental category in people's minds. Instead of just seeing these bodies, like it or not, they started to associate these bodies with a certain kind of environment. So, now that I painted that picture for you, you can imagine what happened when women outside of that environment started to desire the bodies that normally came with it.
I think music video changed the booty era.
When you look at music historically, there's always been songs that have celebrated more curvaceous figures.
There are certain actors and actresses in the media that are role models, and people want to look like their role model.
With the Nicki Minaj's and the K.
Again, I'm glad that they're saying this. And we all know this, man. A lot of people are just scared to admit it. He just said a lot of people want to look like their role models. And I keep talking about, I don't know how many times I got to say, people be idolizing these celebrities. You know, I mean, you may have a female rapper who'll have a guy in her video, and the guy has to have, you know, nice arms, chest, abs, all that type of stuff. And I mean, you got people out there getting fake abs. You got people getting fake calf muscles, you know, breaking their legs to get taller, talking about the guys. So it's the guys too, as I said before. But my whole thing is like, why are you idolizing something that's not even real? A lot of people are lost and don't have no identity. So they look at these celebrities and they want their lives. They want their style because they see the attention that they get. And they don't even realize they come with a price. Sheesh.
Child, you're seeing like the super exaggerated version of the big butt.
Everybody thinks they have to have a big butt to get put on.
I've discussed the rise in plastic surgery many times, so we don't have to go too in depth with that. But we all know how deep it goes.
Right.
With these surgeries becoming more accessible, celebrities and influencers getting them, social media flooded with them, people advocating and promoting them.
Get the cosmetic procedure. Get the BBL.
Wait. Was that that's that Wendy chick from I know she be doing them YouTube like streaming, and so she got a BBL too? Dang, man. Hey, to each their own. To each their own.
Getting them, social media flooded with them, people advocating and promoting them.
Get the cosmetic procedure. Get the BBL, get the lipo, get the filler, get the facial balancing, get the PRP. I don't care what it is. Get the cosmetic procedure.
I went down a whole rabbit hole on these BBLs, right? I look at the befores and afters. Let these girls get a BBL. I'm not even trying to be funny or nothing right now. But when I see the before videos, I'm like, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I'm glad you got that BBL.
It seemed like everywhere you looked, online at least, everyone had something done.
Hey y'all, come with me to get a BBL at 19. It is Sunday.
Wow.
I'm finished.
But why are 18, 19-year-olds out here getting BBLs?
There are still just too many people out here getting BBLs for this to have been the last we will ever see of it.
So we both see how normalized and popular BBLs are, right? So if I see it and you see it, why does it still give wrong place, wrong time?
BBLs don't really look good in a natural setting, in real life, you know what I mean? Like, they don't really match the energy of the world, like on a regular day basis. Anything professional with a BBL, it doesn't really look good, you know what I mean? It looks like it's not supposed to be there.
Now we have social media reacting to these real life spottings of BBLs outside of their natural habitat in the wild. And people are seriously treating the women that have them like animals spotted outside of their cage.
Now see, this is a whole nother level of this falls in a line of bullying. You should not be recording anyone. And, nowadays there's enough videos of them recording themselves. You don't even have to, I feel like for the most part, a lot of people who have BBLs, if you were to find them on Instagram, they probably got so many pictures of themselves showing it off. But this right here, to be secretly recording someone, that's just taking it too far. That's just taking it way too far. You know what I mean? Yeah.
A BBL and walking is crazy work. Bitch should have bought a car instead of a
Craziest BBL. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a video, but I'm gonna try.
And you can imagine what happens when family-friendly spaces are added to the mix too.
Oh boy.
If people feel uncomfortable seeing BBLs at a gas station, seeing them around their children creates an even bigger conversation.
But y'all don't see how weird and strange it is to have in a schoolhouse. Why do they have BBL teachers? I don't give a f. Y'all be like, oh, y'all judging these women? Yes, because why the f you gonna get a BBL, a fat, juicy ass stand in front of these kids?
I am not in support of people filming, going up to, bullying people who obviously have these obvious figures.
Go ahead, say it again. Say it again.
But if y'all don't know what's happening in that video, basically them kids that you see in that video was walking behind a lady who has a BBL that they didn't feel was right. And they was just saying, these BBLs killing y'all. And she overheard them. So she decided to start recording them and asking them to repeat what they said. And was basically saying it's crazy because it's the young generation. It's even the kids that are being disrespectful towards people with their bodies done that are not appealing.
Just because somebody looks peculiar to you doesn't give you free range to lose your manners.
Right.
But BBL slander is at an all-time high because when people see them in person, they feel out of place. And honestly, I don't even think people realize what they're feeling at first. It may just come across as bizarre before anything else because you've seen it before, just not here.
I've worked with nurses who have had BBLs and they walk around all day long just all in Meemaw's and Papa's face. Knocking over the medication with the ass. Can't wrap up no bandages because they all wrapped up. It'd just be a mess. Why are you in here with all that?
When something familiar shows up in an unfamiliar space, it throws a lot of people off. And people are starting to pick up on something else that they can't quite seem to put their finger on.
I feel like BBLs should only be for clubs. It's such a life-altering experience when you see a BBL casually in Target. Oh, mamas. What are you doing here? You should be at this section with the bottle. I don't know. It's just like BBLs.
So look, hearing all of them, what I really think it is, what it comes down to, is not the BBL itself. It's how the BBL is presented. Because if you have a woman who has a figure, wide hips and a round backside, and she wear something tight, she'll probably get the same reaction that a BBL would get if you're in Target or something like that. Now, I always say to each their own. I'm not finna sit up here and be like, don't wear this, don't wear that. But whether you got a BBL or not, if you're wearing something tight, people are going to look. And the confusion may come from if they're not 100% sure if it's a BBL or not. We all see it. Don't act like y'all don't. When y'all go places, y'all see somebody wearing something tight, and that thing just be moving, just moving and moving and moving. You know, me and my wife will see. You'll see, and you be like, you know. But I just think that's what they're wearing versus the BBL itself. Whew-wee.
Should only be like for the club aesthetic, right? Because I just feel like a BBL at 8 a.m., that's just too early.
Remember earlier when I said, and without realizing it, that started to form a mental category in people's minds. Well, today, those mental categories aren't staying in their minds. People are boldly coming online and saying this.
Don't shoot the messenger, but we can't tell regular women from sex workers anymore. We can't tell. We can't tell hookers, strippers, escorts, whatever you want to call sex workers. We can't tell sex workers from good, wholesome, regular women anymore.
Okay, let's just sit for a second, because this is probably one of the hottest hot takes I have ever heard, because now the conversation is looking a little different. Now people are assigning a role to that body. This has moved from you should only be seen in nightlife spaces to if you have it, you should be using it.
You know what I don't understand? Get this big ass BBL and don't want to twerk. Throw that shit. You at a party.
Yo.
Twerk that butt off that back. I want to see some move.
Here's where the conversation gets a little more uncomfortable, because now it's people turning those assumptions into expectations. They assign where the body should be seen, they assign what the body should be doing, and if you connect the dots, you'll quickly learn that the assignment doesn't just stop at twerking.
If you got a BBL and you ain't tricking, you stupid. That's what BBL's for. If you got a BBL and you don't have a OnlyFans and you ain't dancing and you ain't fucking in a car, you stupid.
BBLs is for tricking. I don't think y'all know that. The BBLs ain't for you go sit back on your job. You go get them BBLs and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do with them.
And I'm really shocked that people are boldly coming online and saying this, but are we really confused on how they got there?
If you're gonna get a BBL or a breast job or both, make sure it relates to the type of work that you're about to do. I'm walking into a staff.
Now, I will say with the boobs, because a lot of women that work out, especially if they're competing, you know, that's one of the first things to go. Their chests, you know, will start to widen out, and they'll start to get like how like a manly chest. So that's why a lot of times they get implants, you know, especially the ones who may be small up there, you know, their chest will widen out pretty fast. So that's totally different. But a lot of them, they do their squats, and you know, the backside is normally natural. But you know, I was just wondering if it was going to be someone in this video saying they got it and this was the reason why. Like I don't see any videos where people are talking about, you know, I went to the gym, I worked out, it just wasn't happening for me because of maybe genetics, whatever the case may be. But yeah.
I'm supposed to be buying a product. Now I want you, because you in here looking like a damn video vixen.
Because when we trace it back, this didn't just appear out of thin air. This is coming from years of people seeing this exact body type in very specific context. So now when that same look shows up in everyday life, people don't separate the body from what they've been taught it represents.
BBLs will never give classy. They will never give classy, especially not the ones that the girls are buying. BBLs will always give, I sell it for a living. Like, okay, some girls get away with the skinny BBLs. When I'm specifically talking about, I'm talking about the girls with the thighs, those big, gigantic ghetto booties. They will never ever give classy.
When you have this look, the curves, the body-yaddy, it may subconsciously tell people something you may or may not be trying to say.
There is this stereotype with people that get BBLs and it's like, oh, you're getting BBLs because you're a prostitute. Oh, you're getting BBLs because you're this. Or you're getting BBLs because you want men. That is not true.
And it turns into this idea that once you have that look, people feel like they already know something about you before you even speak.
If I'm looking for somebody that is going to be the mainstay, it's probably not going to be a woman with a BBL. Because I know that's mental illness to let somebody crack your ass open, put some Air Jordan up in there, and sew it back up. That is not a mentally stable woman. With BBLs crazy than mother. But you can them all day long. I like looking at the BBL when they wash up in the sink.
And it's a stigma a lot of women don't want tied to them. A lot of them just want to look good for themselves, and I respect that. But we live in a society that doesn't always respect that. So now, not only is the internet telling you that if you have the body, you shouldn't engage with society, you shouldn't step out into the world until the sun goes down, but they're also saying that your body should be your entire lifestyle.
Why would you get a life-threatening surgery to then go work a minimum wage job? A BBL is supposed to be an investment in your looks. And that investment is supposed to get you higher in the social hierarchy and into better paying jobs.
Now, to some women, a BBL can be a surgery that can completely upgrade their self-esteem, maybe put a band-aid over insecurities. But there's another layer to this that a lot of people don't realize. If you're upgrading your self-esteem, okay, just like how that booty got a lift, your environment, access, who you hang around, just your lifestyle in general, it seems needs to get a lift too.
In my head, if you have a BBL, that means that your life is paid for. I don't know why this whole time I've been under the assumption that if you go put yourself on the table knowing that you could possibly, that most of them, then whenever you wake up and you heal after 3 months, shouldn't you be rich now?
I thought a BBL was going to change my life. When I was selling clothing, I wanted to make sure that when I was modeling these clothes, I looked how I wanted to look in them. People are trying to emphasize like, oh, why would you think that unless you're in the nightlife or you thought a man was going to, scoop you up, baby? It's never been a better man. In my mind, I was thinking that, body looks correct, more money for me and my business.
Now, that whole idea only works if you assume that having this body is sending a certain message, because it's not always doing that. The body alone is being taken as a signal, and that can get dangerous.
Imagine paying to overly sexualize yourself just to get offended when you get overly sexualized. I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what these BBLs is doing to y'all. Y'all literally just asking for it at this point. And to get offended that a man want to come up and talk to you knowing that your ass is sitting out abnormally from any other woman is kind of crazy. It's kind of mental, actually. Like, you know what you're doing at the end of the day. You're not stupid. So you can't be mad at the attention that you're getting and that you're attracting. You asked for it.
My thing is, how can you come to this conclusion for the women who surgically look like this? Because it's starting to sound like you're saying any woman who's built like this is just asking for it. And I don't like that. It's such a tricky topic that I'm quite literally walking on eggshells about, because in theory, it makes sense why people associate and tie these type of bodies into that nightlife lifestyle. But then it's like, now you're basically saying that the women that have these bodies need to trick themselves out or be streetwalkers because of their bodies. And then what about the women who naturally have that body? Are we going to start calling them natural born strippers?
So can we talk about how embarrassing it is to have a fat ass? Like, everyone wants one, stuff like that, and everybody loves one and wants to look at one, blah blah blah, but that's the point. I feel her there, and I know everybody. I can feel the eyes.
Because if we're saying that a body like this automatically comes with a certain lifestyle, then what does that mean for the women who didn't choose that lifestyle?
I'm trying to go to church, booty just big as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a formal event, booty just big as hell. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's just not formal. It's all fun and games till you actually thick. Like, you got that know you ass just having a fat ass. Hello, I do hair too. You know what I'm saying? I do good in school.
So now you have women who naturally look like this being placed into the same category, whether they asked for it or not. And that puts a different kind of pressure on women who didn't opt for this, but they're still being read the same way.
It's so annoying to walk around and everybody asking you, do you have a BBL, just because they feel like your natural booty don't fit your body. It's so annoying when you're trying to give like a classy look and your booty is so much bigger than your everything that it takes the...
Yeah, people are going up to people asking that question. That's crazy. You could think that in your head, just whatever, but going up to someone, that's actually crazy. And like I said, recording people, crazy. Now, you go to a concert, like how Cardi B went viral, because the whole thing is like, so, and let's just say this. Let's say you aren't twerking or showing your butt off before you get the BBL, right? And now you're saying, you know, you want to get one just for your confidence and stuff like that. And now you got it. Now you're twerking and you're doing all these videos and stuff. So my whole thing is like, is it for confidence or is it for attention? You know? And like I said, I think it's just about what you wear. Whether you have a BBL or not, it's about what you're wearing. At the end of the day, I said in the video, if a guy walk with some tight pants on, showing his love muscle print, you know, people gonna be like, yo, at his job, like, yo, what the hell? You know what I mean? So it's tough. I know it's tough, but I would never go up to nobody or record them.
Attention away from what you're trying to give. I don't want everybody looking at me. I don't want everybody looking at what's behind me.
And with this body being so desired and wanted online, I will say I feel like the BBL gets an equal amount of love and hate, but it's one of the most loved, not to mention dangerous, but most loved surgeries out there. But in everyday life, it's recorded, questioned, and picked apart. So now you have a body that's the standard on your phone, but in real life, it's anything but standard.
So a few weeks back, me and my homegirls out day drinking and bar hopping, right? We having a good time. A pack of wild BBLs roll up, right? It was 4 of them. Now, these aren't the only bad BBLs.
Is that popcorn and jalapenos? I've seen jalapeno popcorn before, like the flavor. I ain't never seen the jalapenos like just in there like that. I'm pretty sure y'all be like, man, people do that all the time. I just never seen it. Wow. I've seen people pour hot sauce.
We've seen all day, you know. So, whatever, they're everywhere. My friend's vlogging today, right? Later on that night, my friend is showing me the footage. Now, we seen this in person. He didn't look like this, but everybody's body banging. We look like we partying with a whole bunch of bad, right? Is they building a filter into the BBL? Because that's not what we're saying.
That's why I truly feel like this conversation isn't really about the body. Well, of course it's about the body, but it's more than that. It's about what people think that body type represents. And I'm going to leave this conversation open-ended because I definitely would love to hear your opinions. I feel like it's a very layered topic with a lot of hot takes. I know a lot of people will see it in a different viewpoint. So I would love to hear your takes. Thank you for tuning into the Girl Talk You Didn't Know You Needed.
Ooh, man, you know, this is a very, very hot topic. You know, out in public, you are starting to see them a whole lot more. And I feel like for the most part, you can tell the difference between natural and the ones that aren't. And what I mean by that is, like, someone could have a BBL, but it's more of a natural look versus the ones that are just, you can tell that were just botched. And I think that's for the most part what people are talking about. They're talking about the ones that are like botched, like big butt and the legs just don't match, you know? But you got the two people you think about with the BBLs, of course, is Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. You know, and then you go with Kim, or of course Kim Kardashian. You know, I had never I had never seen her in public, and then a long time ago, me and my wife went to the Ellen show, and she was a guest on there. You don't know who the guests are until you are there. But I had never really seen the way she walked, and you know, because you would hear the rumors, like you see people say, "Man, that thing looked like she got a diaper on." And I will say, when she was walking, it's just something just didn't look right. Just didn't look right, you know. But like I said, to each their own. Try the gym first. Just try it. You know, a membership is a whole lot cheaper, a whole lot less dangerous. Get you a membership. Hell, get you a trainer or somebody you know who know how to work out. Show you all the good leg and squats things that you need to do, and guarantee you with a good diet, in a month or less, you will see a dramatic change with some consistency. You will. You will. And you may be happy with that. But again, it's your body. You can do whatever you want to do. But yeah. All right. Peace out.